Pizza guys of Reddit, what's the strangest thing you've seen when delivering pizzas? I deliver for DoorDash and Grubhub, sometimes pizzas. One time I picked up an order from each app, same exact order, from the same restaurant, both named James, to the same hotel. When I knocked on the door, two guys were there and asked me which was I, DoorDash or Grubhub. I told them I was both and have both orders. They started to laugh really hard. When I asked what was so funny, they told me they had a bet on which one would come first. They thought it was going to be two different drivers and never thought one person would be using both apps. I laughed too and asked them which one was James. They told me they are both named James. I still wonder what other funny things those two guys try come up with. Customer paid with a card and he had instructions to leave the pizza on a bench in a public area. Drop it off and quickly leave the area. I left but pulled on a side street where I could see the bench. I wait probably close to 5 minutes and then I see a man bust out of a dilapidated building I thought was empty. He runs up and grabs the pizza. He spins a whole 360 degrees and he is glancing in every direction as if he was afraid he was being watched. Then he hurries back to the place, and when he gets to the door, he sees me and his eyes get huge and wide, paranoid and fearful. He slammed the door shut. I just think he was tweaking or something, wouldn't be out of the ordinary around here. Was delivering to a hotel, had a guy pass out on me 3 separate times in a 10-minute encounter. Apparently he was narcoleptic, but it still scared the crap out of me. New narcoleptic here. He was probably having a cataplexy attack. We don't actually pass out, we're still conscious, but we lose control over our muscles, so we look passed out. There's also the scenario where it's only partial, then it looks like a seizure because we try to move only to cause spasms. It's triggered by emotion, so he probably got nervous or something. I delivered to a hotel in the middle of a local golf course. Called the number to let them know I was there and was told to come on up. Get to the room, and when the guy answered, there was a large group of guys, all in golf attire, surrounding a single guy in a chair. He was bound and blindfolded. The one that answered didn't even bat an eye, just asked how much and tipped me 30 bucks. Warily, I took the money and walked away. But before the door was fully closed, I heard one on the guys ask, "I wonder if he knows this is a..." Before I even left the parking lot, the guy that answered the door called me to say that the bound guy was his brother, and he was bound and blindfolded because it's his bachelor party, and the stripper was waiting to come out. I just showed up way earlier than they thought I would. Some dude opened the apartment door completely naked? I was stunned, but what came after that made me ask myself, is he some kind of fucking magician? He put a hand behind his back and pulled a wallet. Only reasonable explanation I could give myself was that he tucked the wallet between his butt cheeks. I had 2 teenage girls open the door in their underwear. As a joke, I guess. They were probably 16 or something. They think it's funny, but I had to report it to my manager and hope nothing came of it. I was like 20 at the time. Some guy ordered a large pep pizza. When I got to the house, he wasn't there, so I called him out. He told me he was in the bathroom taking a shit and I had to wait 18-ish minutes to get my pay. Had someone answer the door once with a snake on his shoulders. Not like a milk snake or a garter, but a ball python. Probably about 6 feet long. As he closed the door, I heard him say to someone that I hadn't reacted at all. Lol. Sounded so disappointed. Edit to clarify. This was almost a year ago. I am not a snake expert, so it is quite possible I misidentified the species. Thanks to those who pointed out my mistake. I once delivered a pizza late at night. The person who took the call told me that the person who ordered, let's call him Mark, was an old man and may take a while to get to the door. I get to the house and all the lights are off. No car in the driveway. I ring the doorbell, no answer. I knock on the door, no answer. I call the person's phone. No answer. Call again, still nothing. At this point, I had waited for about 15 minutes for this person and was walking back to my car to leave when I hear the front door open, so I go back. Again, there aren't any lights on, so I can only see the head of a young woman peek from behind the door, and she refuses to open it all the way, even to take the pizza. I then hear another woman behind her saying, "Who cares if he sees? Open the door." So she opens it a little more to sign the receipt. She couldn't see, so I offer to shine my phone's flashlight so she can sign the receipt. I then realize that both of these women are naked. As I was walking away, one of the women yells to me, "Have a good night, you know Mark is." and I burst into laughter as I had totally forgot that this was the house of an elderly man. I delivered a pizza to a young girl who was home alone, and when she opened the door, her dog immediately ran away. I handed her the pizza, got in my car, found the dog, and returned it. She left me no tip, so I was feeling kind of salty about it on the way back to the restaurant. A few hours later, her mother called the store asking to speak to me. She thanked me and explained they had left tip money, but their daughter was so upset about the dog, she forgot to give it to me. I worked at this pizza place for 2 more years through college, and they would get 2 large pepperoni pizzas and request me to deliver it every week after that. They always tipped me at least $25. Not mine, my father's story from back when. Was delivering for Domino's into a quite wealthy area. Knocks on the door, but of shuffling around inside. Guy opens it, wearing a silk smoking jacket, woman in the background on the couch, full naked. Hands my dad $100 bill for the 1 pizza order and asks, "If you can go grab me a gallon of milk and bring it back, keep the change." They got their milk. Back in college, when I used to deliver pizzas, I delivered to the local county jail. An officer was taking someone to jail. The guy going to jail, still with his hands cuffed behind his back, got away from the officer and took off as I was walking in and ran into me. I'm pretty sure this guy was tripping on meth. The officer caught up to both of us on the ground and were able to subdue him. I was covered pizza sauce, and the officers on shift took the pizza, paid, and each gave me $20. I told my manager and we remade the order for the officers, and I redelivered the order. The police were grateful, and I was given another tip. 1 deliver, and I made about $400. I should add, every time they ordered pizza from us again, they always requested the guy who knew how to take a charge and would always tip me well. Good times. A previous coworker of mine delivered pizza when he was in college, and he told me that he once pulled up to a house and a group of high schoolers ran across the street with a finish line when he got there. They ordered from Pizza Hut and Domino's at the same time. I don't remember which one he worked for, but he won the race. There was this house where a young couple had ordered pizza. I reached quite early and probably disturbed their sex session. The drunk dude had no idea that he had put on his girl's skirt. Not strange, but very difficult not to laugh at. Strangest thing would be when I had to deliver pizza to my uncle. Of course, it had to be a family member. Me being me, I walked in his house without ringing just because he is my uncle and I am his favorite. When I went in, I caught him playing Halo 4 in his boxers and screaming at the TV. I died laughing and he nearly threw his remote at me. I learned to never walk in on him again. Thanks for watching. Do you have any funny or weird delivery stories of your own? Share them in the comments below.